So it's finally been confirmed that Dillian Whyte is going to take on, yet again, another tough opponent instead of getting a title shot. The more that Dillian Whyte does this, the more risk of him actually losing and not being able to rebound from that loss is going to increase. Now, I commend Dillian Whyte a lot. I mean, he's definitely a legendary fighter. Not a legendary fighter, I wouldn't go that far, but he's definitely an elite heavyweight at this point. He's definitely top 5. I mean, if you look at his resume, I mean, who he's actually beaten, it's up there. He's not on the same level as a Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua, but to some extent, he's a dark horse of the division, because even though he's not on that level, I think he's got a better resume than Deontay Wilder. If you just take into account all the people that he's beaten, I mean, you can argue it's better than Deontay Wilder. But the point is, to some extent, I do like it. The fact that he's not going to let himself get inactive. If he can't get a title shot, he's still going to keep himself busy and in the gym and ticking over and constantly sparring and constantly getting into fights and stuff. But at the same time, he does pick hard opponents. I mean, we saw what the first Povetkin fight done. It completely obviously almost derailed his entire career. So from that perspective, you can kind of see why some fighters might be like, you know what, maybe you should chill a little bit, just wait for your title shot. But I don't think that's Dillian Whyte's nature. Dillian Whyte's nature is to get the hardest challenge that's out there and go for it. He's an absolute warrior, and he wants all the smoke. And let's be real, the fighter he's about to fight now is going to bring it to him. I mean, Otto Wallin is no joke. Otto Wallin's got an awkward style. He's southpaw. We saw what he done to Tyson Fury's eye. He gave him a very good fight, and I think to some extent, he's got a very awkward style for heavyweight. I mean, he's very fast, he's very rangy, he's very tall, he's southpaw, he's awkward. I mean, this could be a potential banana skin for Dillian Whyte. So from that perspective, I mean, it could be a very difficult long night for him, and he could potentially lose this fight. If he loses this fight, it might be a step back from him taking the title shot that he so rightly deserves. So from that perspective, it might not be the smartest decision to do something like that. But at the same time, you got to commend Dillian Whyte for not like just sitting out and doing nothing and being active. Because that's what boxing is about. If you can't get a title shot, you fight the best fighters that are as close as you can get to getting a title shot. So you build your resume, you make your money, you put yourself in a position where when an opportunity does come up, you're ready for it, because you've been active and you've been taking over. And when everyone else has been getting fat and lazy and because they can't get fights, you're there constantly training and constantly keeping yourself sharp. So when the opportunity comes, you swoop in and you take it and you just grab it and you do what you have to do to become a world champion. And that's exactly what Andy Ruiz done when he fought AJ the first time. I mean, the first time round, he was already in the training camp. Then he got the short notice opportunity to fight Anthony Joshua. He came in to the weigh-in. A lot of people didn't take him seriously, but this was a fight that was training for the last 8-9 weeks. And on top of that, he's taking a short notice fight against Anthony Joshua. That's another 3-4 weeks. And then when he got into the fight, even though he got dropped, he came back and he managed to take the title off Joshua. And the way you do it is to keep yourself active in between fights and keep yourself constantly ticking over. So when your opportunity does come, you grab it with both hands. So to some extent, I do commend Dillian Whyte for what he's doing. But to another extent, it's quite a risky strategy, because the fact is he's taking on very good fighters. He's building his resume and making his legacy look very great on the meanwhile. On top of that, he's getting paid very good money to take these fights. I'm sure Eddie Hearn is paying him a good lot of money with DAZN and all of that. But at the same time, it's a bit risky, because if he loses to Otto Wallin, then Otto Wallin might get the title shot and he might not. I mean, obviously there's probably rematch clauses in contracts and all of that for that to happen, but at the same time, there's only so many traumatic losses that you can take before you're never the same again. So yeah, from that perspective, I commend him for taking a fight, but at the same time, if I was his manager, I think it's a little bit risky to take a fight against Otto Wallin. Otto Wallin, I'm not saying he's an elite heavyweight, but he's certainly, I think he's a top contender, and I think on his day he could make many upsets with many of the top heavyweights at this point in time. I reckon he can give loads of heavyweights good fights. I mean, I can actually see him outboxing a Deontay Wilder Maybe Deontay Wilder lands a right hand, maybe he doesn't, but for a few rounds I can see Otto Wallin having success with Deontay Wilder. So yeah, from my perspective, it's commendable from a fan perspective what Dillian Whyte is doing, but from a managerial boxing perspective it might not be the right move. But if Dillian Whyte blows out Otto Wallin, then I'm going to look like a complete idiot, because he's managed to do the thing that he took the risk and it paid off basically. So yeah, from that perspective, it might not be the dumbest move to make. I'm not saying it's a dumb move, him fighting Otto Wallin. I think it's a good move, but at the same time I'm just saying there's a little bit of risk involved. So yeah, tell me your thoughts about this fight. It's going to be October 30th in London, so to some extent Dillian Whyte's going to have a hometown advantage, but at the same time Otto Wallin's a good fighter. He's, like I just said, he's southpaw, he's awkward, he's big, he's talented, he's got a good jab, he can move, he can box. I mean, it's a bit of a difficult fight to take. So yeah, from my perspective, it's a hard fight. So it might be a fight that he should take, but it's a good fight that he's taken, but at the same time, it might not be the best fight for him to take at this point in time. When you're so close to the title shot, is it worth risking that good position that you've got by taking on an Otto Wallin? I don't know, man. Might be, might not be, but we'll soon see. So yeah, tell me your thoughts below and like and subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more content coming your way. Peace out.